It all started with a knock on the door. The kind that makes your heart stop, just for a second. The kind that feels like the beginning of something, or the end of everything. She stood there, my ex, smiling. She told me she was pregnant, said the baby was mine. Her eyes were shining like she was giving me the best news in the world, like she expected me to pull her into my arms and whisper, "We'll figure it out." But my heart didn't race. It sank. Let me take you back. We had been together for 2 years. Not a lifetime, but long enough to know someone's routines, long enough to share a home, a bed, bills, dreams, and eventually, silence. The last few months had been rough. She lost her job. That wasn't the problem. What hurt was how quickly she stopped trying. No resumes, no interviews, just long mornings on the couch and longer afternoons scrolling through her phone while I worked overtime to cover rent, utilities, food. I started to feel like I had a roommate who didn't pay rent. Then, like I had a child who didn't listen. Then, like I had a stranger in my house. But the worst part wasn't financial. It was that I started to suspect something that eats at a man's soul slowly, like acid, drip by drip. I thought she was cheating. I couldn't prove it, but there was a shift. She pulled away, laughed too easily at her phone, kept secrets in the air between us. And eventually, the silence between us grew louder than the accusations I didn't have the energy to voice. So I ended it. Told her to leave. She packed a few bags and moved back to her mom's house. I thought that was the end. Until that knock on the door. She said she was pregnant with my child. And in that moment, I felt the world tilt. Everything I thought was over came rushing back. I didn't scream. I didn't accuse. I just stood there. She looked so happy, hopeful, and something inside me, some last ember of the man who had once loved her, wanted to believe her. I let her move back in. Her mom, she said, smoked like a chimney, had no intention of quitting even after learning about the pregnancy. And no matter how I felt about her, I couldn't let a child, my child, be raised in that. But I wasn't naive anymore. I told her there was one condition. We'd take a paternity test. No questions, no drama, just facts. She agreed, eagerly even, almost too eagerly. It threw me off. Maybe she wasn't lying. Maybe she made a mistake. Maybe this really was our second chance. For the next couple of weeks, we lived in a strange purgatory. Not together, not apart. She nested, acted warm, gentle, helpful. I almost forgot the bitterness. Almost. Then came the test. I remember sitting in that clinic staring at the results. I remember the room going quiet, even though I knew there was noise. I remember the weight of my breath and the way her smile froze before it fell. The child was not mine. Like a switch inside me flipped. Whatever small hope or guilt I'd held onto vanished. I told her to pack her things. There was no yelling, no name-calling, just finality. She left, moved her things back to her mom's house, but not for long. She's now crashing with a friend, and I know that because that's when the texts started. First from her, then from her friends. Then, the part that hit differently, from our mutual friends. People I'd invited to dinner, laughed with, trusted. They said I was cruel, said I'd abandoned an innocent child. Said that since I had space in my house, I should let her stay, that I should be a good man, that I should do it for the baby. They made me doubt myself, even after everything. They made me wonder, am I heartless? Is this baby just an unlucky victim of a broken adult world? She cheated on me, lied by omission, tried to make me care for a child that isn't mine. But in the face of an unborn life, does that matter? I started remembering the look in her eyes when she first told me, remembering how it felt when I thought the child might be mine. For a few days, I'd imagined what it might be like to hold them, to name them, to be someone's father. Now that life is still coming into the world, but it has nothing to do with me. So why do I still feel something? Is it guilt? Is it compassion? Or am I just tired? So emotionally wrung out from this whole mess that I don't know what's real anymore. Some nights I lie awake and wonder, maybe I should have let her stay. Maybe I should have been the bigger person. But then I remember. I remember how she let me believe a lie. How she saw the doubt in my eyes and smiled anyway. How she played a role, thinking I'd sign up for a life built on betrayal. And I remember that kindness isn't letting someone walk all over you. That love, real love, isn't built on manipulation and secrets. So I ask you, am I the asshole for choosing peace over guilt? For saying no to raising another man's child? For closing my door and this chapter for good? Or am I just a man who finally said, enough? So, am I the asshole? This one hits deep, because it's not just about cheating or lies or even pregnancy. It's about boundaries. It's about how far we're willing to bend ourselves for someone else's crisis, especially when our emotions are already tied up in the wreckage. There's a line between compassion and self-erasure, and in this story, that line was tested, stretched thin by a lie dressed in hope. To the man in this story, you stepped up when you thought it was your child. You opened your home. You showed willingness to be responsible. And when the truth came out, you didn't lash out. You set a boundary. You protected your peace. And that is not something to be ashamed of. To everyone listening, this isn't just about relationships. It's about knowing when enough is enough, when love becomes leverage, when guilt becomes currency. So here's our question for you. If someone you once loved asked you to take care of something they created with someone else, would you do it? Comment below. Let's talk about it. This is AITA Stories, where your truth meets our empathy.